Hey, good morning or good evening, everyone. Happy New Year. Welcome to the Radical Geek live stream. So I see Carrie and Purple Oven Nona is here. Good to see you. I know other people are coming, but I also knew it might be light tonight. Renee has joined us. Happy New Year. And we have a New Year's themed sort of live stream tonight. But while we wait for people to join, and maybe they will or not, but I see that Carrie has given us an update on his countdown. That year is getting so close. And Just Jen has joined us. Hey, and the warden is here. And our awesome moderator Attila has joined us. But I'm going to get this coffee going. And Air Fry and Auntie, our other amazing moderator. So I am having Shot Tower Espresso by Verena Street. This was also the gift from Visual Keto. So super excited. And Sharon has joined us. And Hungry Heath, hey. I am not hungover. We did have a champagne. But I will be honest that we had our glass of champagne and then everybody was like, ready to go to sleep shortly thereafter. So we have zero tolerance. So... Oh, and Carrie was struggling with his Rubio's tea and says that trying it warm with just one packet was okay. Yeah. Oh, and let's see. Oh, hey, Susie. Good to see you. And Stacy's joined us. So this is an espresso roast coffee, which is a very dark roast. It's a very deep color. And I just took it off my grinder. I have prepped my V60 by making sure I heated up the beaker and prepped my filter as well. So it's good to go. I just thought it'd be good to start the coffee and then we can talk about the waffle here. I did put the recipe in. So give me a 1 second one. Just trying to get my coffee in there and pay attention. All right, so I've got it all set here. Better make sure that I get my little tab. And I have my coffee at 195, my water at 195. And we'll just do the bloom real quick. Just per usual, I put just enough water to moisten the coffee. I'm sorry, get the coffee grounds wet. So, we've made a coffee themed waffle before, and I actually have another version that we will do of a stuffed waffle that does have a coffee flavor, but we made a tiramisu one. Carrie was saying we need to put coffee into the batter to make an espresso waffle. And yes, we do. But we did that tiramisu version, and now I do have a really good coffee version. It needs a couple more tweaks, so I want to get that done. So basically, we're going to start with the standard batter that we do to make our waffles, and I'm going to make that batter first while we let this rest so that it can settle just a little bit. I have found that when you're making your waffle batters, if you let them sit for a little bit before you cook it, then it actually helps with the texture. So I've got my avocado oil in the mixing bowl. I'm going to go ahead and throw in the egg. And in case you didn't know, I'm making a stuffed waffle. It's the Happy New Year waffle because we're using a pork and sauerkraut version. Now, we'll talk about an issue with my waffle in terms of it being a New Year's theme, but it's close enough and we're going to run with it. So my heavy cream, and then my whey protein isolate, the baking powder. You guys are being so quiet. I'm actually going to be able to keep up with the comments if you are this quiet. So, what did you all do last night? Did all of you stay up? I know there was like a couple different calls and live streams and all kinds of stuff last night. Let's see. So there's my baking powder. Oh, Renee says she's been told not to wash clothes today, so they'll be wearing their least favorite scrubs to work tomorrow. I didn't know that. We washed lots of clothes today. Let's see. Carrie says on the 8th of January to the 22nd, his church will be doing a fast, and it's a spiritual fast, so they say you have to avoid meat. So your fridge will be full of eggs and bacon. Isn't bacon meat, or is that not part of their list? I know that you were telling me a little bit about it, but I'm interested in hearing about it. Hey, Bluegrass Girl, good to see you join us. Hungry Heath says he can't type because he's eaten. I look forward to hearing what you guys had. Now I'm going to add the extract with my super accurate measuring cap. And the extract I'm using, it's apple, and it's called natural apple. And the reason I'm putting apple in there is because the way I was taught to do the sauerkraut and pork always had apples mixed in with the sauerkraut. So I want to highlight that because when we are keto, we don't eat actual apples. Instead, I have the diced chayote squash. So let me give this a mix and get the batter situated. And this is definitely, you wanted this batter to be a bit more on the, not the thick spreadable sort, but more of the pourable sort of batter. So that's why we needed the cream and the avocado oil and not as much of the other things that we sometimes put into the batter. So, and we're not doing cheese or anything like that in it. The warden says they were in bed by 11, but the neighbors were having a loud party with loud music, and then were screaming constantly like they were killing someone. Goodness. Yeah, oh, my kid told me that because they are on campus, and said that they had a big drama outside their apartment, because evidently the upstairs neighbor, their girlfriend, really got very, very loud because evidently he kissed the wrong girl at midnight. Can you remember doing really dumbass stuff like that? I don't know that I ever would have done anything quite that dumb, but oh, I'm sure it was very dramatic at that point in time. I'm pretty sure actually we didn't have the wrong person to kiss, because pretty much when we were when we were like 21 and you drank too much, it didn't matter. It just kissed everybody. So let's see. Oh, and Renee says their pups were shaking, panting mess from 5 p.m. through the night. Oh, it was super quiet in our neighborhood. Our neighborhood didn't really do anything. There do seem to be a lot of cars appearing today, but I have no idea why or what. But for a change, they weren't partying it up. So I'm pleased about that. And thankfully, we did not have like a lot of fireworks. All right, so I'm going to do the filling. Again, it's my shred. I say again like as if you guys all got to read the description. So the filling, I've got pulled pork that I made sure I cut it up really small. And let me get my little spoon here. And it is pulled pork from the pork butt. I highly recommend that you do that because it's got a high fat content, which will help with the keeping it not dry. And if you only have pork loin, because that's what you made, you can certainly chop it up and dice it, but you may want to then also mix in some bacon or something, or some fat of some sort, because the pork loin can get a little dry. The other thing I have is my chayote squash. I only have a teeny, like maybe 2 tablespoons of it. And I did, when I simmered it, I did put in like half a tablespoon of allulose, which kind of helps bring the appley-ishness to the chayote squash without sweetening it. So let me scoop that in there. And then my sauerkraut, which should be green, your regular standard sauerkraut. And so this is the not so, this is the inappropriate part of my pork and sauerkraut. Listen, I did not have any green cabbage sauerkraut ready, but I have 5 jars of this purple sauerkraut. So I'm using it. And I'll explain to you why this kind of violates some Happy New Year-ishness. And this is more filling than I will need for one night. So let's see. I'll give that a mix, and then let's read some of that too. So it's basically equal part pork to the sauerkraut and chayote mixed together. Now, if you do find this mix dry, you should know that you can make a sauce. I really don't need one, but if you want a sauce, it's starting to be a lot of flavors. But a traditional pairing with it would be to make a sour cream mustard sauce or dip, whatever you would do. And all that is like mostly it's a sour cream. So if you used let me get the ratios. If you use like a cup of sour cream, you would use a half cup of mayo and then a quarter cup of the mustard. And you would mix that together, give yourself a splash of some hot sauce and a little bit of hot and pepper. So salt and pepper, hot and pepper, hot. Oh, it's a pulled pork, friend Annie, so pork butt. And let's see. We had a bunch of hellos, and I want to see who I missed coming in. So there we are, back to the warden. Hey, Susie, good to see you. Yeah, 9:30 p.m. That makes sense to me. We're tired from packing and hoisting totes, and it's been quite the workout. I definitely feel like I am on a better stage, though, because I've been slacking on my exercise. Oh, and Renee says it was really just firecrackers, not actual fireworks. But yeah, the firecrackers are just as bad, though. They're actually sometimes even louder. Lisa said she had Lisa says her younger dog was upset, but turning on some music and a movie to distract. So let's see. And Bluegrass Girl said where she was, it was too rainy, and so fireworks were fizzle at midnight. But 10 to 12 was popping. Sharon says they had light rain and some fog, but it was quiet, nothing going boom. Yeah, I feel like maybe here in Ohio we haven't jumped on the New Year's fireworks, but it was also really rainy too. Oh, and Carrie says he went to bed at 9 o'clock, but they shot off fireworks, so when he got up at 2, they had some that fired off. So interesting to hear the way it does. And Air Fryer Annie says her neighbor across the street doesn't mess with fireworks. They go straight to like mini bomb M80s and things that, oh my. Yeah, that's a surprise. Susie said it was quiet where she was as well. So let's see, lots and lots of hellos. Oh, and Susie says she's going to make pork panko crusted pork chops today, but the chops weren't defrosted enough. Oh, but you know what? Smash burgers are amazing. And then tomorrow you'll have the panko crusted pork chops, which sounds really good. I do have some pork chops in the freezer. What an inspiration. And Lisa says she loves a good pork butt. Let's see. And Renee has baby back ribs in the oven, low and slow with her chipotle rub and a keto coleslaw and homegrown peppers. You guys, my coffee. Let's get it brewing. Need my water to bump back up again. See, I got distracted. So yesterday, and Carrie said yesterday and today there was some dense fog, and he couldn't see anything when he drove to the church to work. Oh, yeah, we've had some. Hey, good evening, J-Dog. Happy New Year to you as well. So let's see. Oh, and Gigi's here. Good to see everybody tonight. I wasn't sure we would have enough people, but, well, I mean, even if it's only me and one other person, then we had conversation for a little bit. So, my water's almost there again. We'll have to say, definitely the coffee had enough time to bloom. And that's totally fine. It actually can do that for quite some time before it's a problem. Oh, I forgot whatever I was saying before that when I was like, make coffee. Here we are. Let's go ahead and get it going. You always go in nice circles from the inside to the out when you brew. We've done V60 a lot, but not everybody has been here the whole time, so we'll lightly walk through it. I'm going to let that sit for a minute. Let's see. Oh, and J-Dog's making a reverse sear ribeye for Patty and himself for their anniversary. 30 years married today. Wow, that's awesome. All right. So my batter has rested, and it was nice because it gave the baking powder a little bit of time to activate, and so now the batter is a bit fluffier. I'll go ahead and put a generous portion in. Get it spread. Ouch. I burnt my finger a little bit and almost flung my batter everywhere. And graceful is not a thing that I am, which is weird because, I used to be very graceful back many decades ago when I used to do some ballet. But once I hit college and didn't have to anymore, not that I ever really had to, but there was like a freedom from letting it go. And let me spoon batter in. I probably wish that I had had a bigger spoon down here, but it is what it is. I don't know why I brought this little delicate spoon instead of my regular spoon, but that's all right. It'll just be a little weird and take me a little longer. We'll scoop it out. So there we go. Now we're getting a nice filling. I'm going to spread it around a little bit. A little more. Because we should overfill it, right? Every time. That's my thing. So. And you'll notice I didn't really put like any seasoning in there. That's because the pork butt that I had was from the smoker. It already has an awful lot of flavor to it. And then we highlighted the apple flavor in the batter. So really just didn't need more because it already had plenty. Just trying to cover up a couple little spots where things have come through. Believe that I made the perfect amount of batter this time. Outstanding. So there, now we wait. Let's release this and to get the drawdown on our coffee. It smells super good. It's definitely got that dark roast smell to it. Oh, Carrie says the gingerbread man uses a cookie sheet to make his bed. That's a good one. Let's see. Now I've missed a bunch, so okay. Happy anniversaries, of course. 30 years is amazing. I really look forward to that. Oh, and Carrie says we'd have coffee flower power since it bloomed for so long. Just Jen said she made country fried steak for the birthday boy today. Yes, happy birthday. Lots of birthdays are awesome. Let's see. More happy birthday wishes to Brian. So we are excited about that. Yeah, and Carrie's looking for ideas for celebrating his year on the 29th of no coffee or caffeine. Maybe you can find a good roller coaster. Oh, that might be nice. All right, time for the second pour. And again, we still continue in our circles. And we let it draw down right away. And we'll be good to go here with this coffee in just a minute. So, Just Jen said he got his meal and a 4-pack of the Meter Wireless Temperature Pros. Man, meters are the best. They are fantastic. So, and Renee says she'll drink a coffee for Carrie. That sounds good to me. And Carrie says you won't see the inside of your cup when you brew the espresso because of how dark it is. And that's true. You can see on the camera, it basically looks black. It is definitely a heavy dark roast. And like I said, it smells good though. It has like a little bit of that after acidity smell to it that the espresso roast gets. But it's not like, it doesn't have like a burn or a bitter smell. So I'm very excited about that. So, me pull this up and we'll be good to go with the coffee. And then we can talk the talk. Oops. So, just get that into my glass here. Spill some on my table, of course. There we go, and let that rest for just a minute. So, oh, and Visual Keto is here. Good to see you. And says that she hopes I like it because this is one of her favorites. So, I actually, just from the smell, I'm pretty sure I will. Now, I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about the waffle. So, the waffle is the throwaway. That is not anything to do with New Year's. But the pork and sauerkraut, the reason, I'll tell you, I had never had such a thing until I moved east. Growing up in the Southwest, I had heard of sauerkraut, but we really didn't eat it. I don't know. I feel like it's probably more prevalent these days. We have much more diversity, but food has traveled more. I'm just saying though that really we didn't have. It just wasn't part of a thing that we did. We did have black-eyed peas, but that was not part of our normal thing. That actually just came from some relatives who were working in Alabama, and they picked it up and brought it back to us. And we hated it because we hate black peas. And my favorite part of the whole thing, because my grandma really got excited about the whole thing that we learned from our relatives in the South, was my grandpa always used to say that we ate the black peas on New Year's, and that's what always let us know that the next year could not be any worse. And I agree 1,000%. So, oh, and J-Dog's asking which wireless temperature probes did we just mention? The ones he has are from Thermopro, but they are wired. Yeah, the wireless probes are the meters, like MEAT. Oh, and I see Hungry Heath is already putting it out there. But yeah, I've been a big fan of meters for a long time. Oh, and Joe's had them on 2 Crazy Ketos. You're right, I think he has. I've kind of forgot all about that. So, but anyways, pork and sauerkraut was not something I had had until I was an adult. And I really enjoy it. But the New Year's Eve thing, it's actually kind of it's here, it's something that is eaten more in the Midwest. And the reason is because Germany, they have pork and sauerkraut. It is a tradition there. And we have a lot of, a very big German immigrant communities in the Midwest. It's also something that they eat in Hungary. It's Czech and Polish people all do this pork and sauerkraut. And so there's some weird water running down here. I'm sorry. I hope that it's not working on the live stream. I don't know what's going on upstairs, but oh well. I don't know. Maybe we started a dishwasher or something. At any rate, I lost track. Oh yeah, so anyway, so all of those countries, we actually do have a lot of that. We've got a huge, robust Hungarian communities in the Midwest, an awful huge amount of, not awful, but we have a tremendous Polish communities. So those kind of came over with us. And some of the reasons that they celebrate, they use the pork is because, see, these are not like science facts like we normally get. These are fun facts, some of the myths surrounding it. The reason you eat pork is because pigs route in the dirt forward. You'll be going forward in the year. They tend to not eat beef because cows stand still. And Poultry is also a no-go because they scratch and go backwards. So you don't want to, and the idea of you kind of, what you eat represents how your upcoming year will go. So you actually don't want to be going backwards. You want to move forwards, hence they eat pork. Now, I use my purple sauerkraut. I am not superstitious, but to be correct, to go along with some of these I lost the word. The word's gone from my brain. Traditions. There we go. Some of these traditions, it would normally be a green cabbage based sauerkraut. And the reason for that is because leafy green is a symbol of money. And therefore, if you are eating leafy green with your moving forward, then you will also have a prosperous year coming forward. So that is the whole thing about the pork and sauerkraut. I believe the apple is just there because it tastes good. In which case, I fully expect the chayote squash to taste good as well. There may be more info on that, but I don't think so. So let's give this a taste. That's good. I like this even better than the breakfast blend. It has a... It's very sturdy, but it doesn't... It's also smooth. Even though it's strong, it's smooth. So it's not like, for instance, dark roast from Starbucks, where it gets like that burnt and kind of bitter flavor. It's actually very smooth and very gentle in the mouth. It also has a good mouthfeel, a lot of a texture to it. Air Fry and Auntie says purple represents royalty, so maybe I'll be a queen or a duchess. Who knows? Probably not, or maybe only in my own head. All right, so I have my waffle. You guys, we did this live stream like in record time. Awesome. And I'm going to sneak around and show this to you up close and also unplug my waffle maker so it can cool down. But now that I figured out that I can bring stuff up to the camera, there you go. This is how it looks. And then I will cut it and show you the inside. Delightful. I don't know why I didn't get from behind the camera to show you stuff more often. I think it's nice. Oh. So let's see. Set my knife down. And I see that Visual Keto says she feels it's kind of mellow for a dark roast. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Let's see. And Stacy says, I'm your coffee queen. Well, thank you. That's very flattering. Air Fry Nanny says, RPG Duchess of the Cons. Oh, that, I enjoy that. So, I'll show you how the combination, I don't know that if it shows up well on the camera or not, but you can see the inside, and then like the liquids from the sauerkraut and the chayote mixed in with the fat from the pork. So it got like a nice, it's not dry. Instead, it's kind of almost got a little bit of creaminess to it. And that is exactly why it's better than like the pork loin. And Hungry He says he wants a bite. And Air Fryer Andy says it looks tasty. Well, let's find out. Probably should have showed you like the triangle so you could see how nice and soft and fluffy the waffle is. It's good. I feel like this could become a regular. The apple extract in the batter really highlighted the whole thing. It's delightful. I might have to make mini waffles with just that batter. Possibly even the keto chow waffles boost it with a little bit of that apple extract and see. But I like my whey protein isolate waffles because of how fluffy they get. It's almost, it's like really crunchy on the outside, and then like the inside is kind of cake-like. So, and if you ever make one with whey protein isolate and it seems dry, just means that you need to adjust the recipe for your region and add more fat to it, more of the oil and heavy cream. So that's the secret of the whey protein isolate. Let's see. Let me get back up here. Oh, and Renee says, Dr. Coffee Queen, Dark Mistress of the Cons. I might have to get a name tag with that. I'm choking on my waffle a little bit. Let's see. And Air Fry Nanny says she made keto chow apple pie pancakes today. Ooh. I bet the apple pie pancakes with some of that chayote chopped up in there would be amazing. And Just Jen says she's craving chayote done up as apples. We'll have to procure some tomorrow. You know, I like chayote squash as a substitute for apples, but I also really like it done up savory. If you saute it up and then add in just like a little bit of diced tomato and some and seasonings, and then a little bit of melty cheese, it's really good. It kind of reminds you of corn just a little bit. So let's see. And Renee says she choked me up just a little bit, maybe. And Bluegrass Girl made pecan keto chow fudge using Choc Zero milk chocolate chips. Ooh, that sounds interesting. I haven't tried to make any of that fudge. I really kind of feel like I would like to, but my time has been so crazy. Let's see. And Air Fry Nanny made 2KK chayote squash cinnamon apples with it. So she had never had it before today. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I always mean to look up how their recipe, but when I make my own cinnamon apples, it's pretty simple. So I assume they did something very similar or maybe even the same. But I just boil my chayote squash up all diced up so that it's a nice edible size. And then I strain it off and I mix in a little bit of sweetener and apple pie spice or cinnamon, nutmeg, and allspice, and I grate a little cardamom in there, and that's perfect for me. So, and sometimes I bump it with a little sweetener to give it a sweetness taste. So, oh, and Carrie says where he's at, they're doing more fireworks right now. That's crazy. And Bluegrass Girl says the fudge is a 5-minute project. Well, okay. I'll have to see where I'm at tomorrow. You know, I don't know. Do you guys work tomorrow? I'm off tomorrow, and I'm thrilled because I made huge progress on getting prepped for the convention that I feel that I can be in really good shape tomorrow. And then I have some toll coming on Thursday, which will let me package up the dice that I procured for my volunteers. And, oh, then I'll really be in good shape. Then the only thing I will have to worry about is my personal stuff, which, you know, when I go to a convention, I take like half the house. So it's not a small task. But this weekend this weekend coming, we're going to have a big on-site meeting to go over, you know, getting preparedness for the con. And then on Saturday the 13th, I'm getting my hair cut finally. It's getting ridiculous. It's just like, it bothers me as well as it is just like wild and like poking up everywhere. It's getting stuck on my ear. So I'm ready to get that shaved. Almost. I'm just getting a lot of it done. Let's see. Oh, and Air Fried Annie said it was simple water sweetener, apple extract, cinnamon, xanthan gum. Oh, and cream of tartar. Oh, yeah, that's too many things for me. I just do spice and chayote. That's too. I bet that's probably delicious and very pie filling like, but that's not working for me. And then and Carrie says he was looking at something for gaming, and they have a Nintendo Switch and then a Nintendo Lite that looks like a Switch. Is there a difference? Yes, they're both Switches. But the regular Switch has the Joy-Cons come off, and you can hook it up to your TV to use a big screen. The Nintendo Lite is an all-in-one piece, and that's all. You can only use it on the little screen. So they both have their uses, and of course the Nintendo Switch can be portable and go with you, but it's definitely infinitely more flexible because you can, like I said, because you can hook it up to the TV and all of that stuff. Other than that, it's pretty much the same. It's the same operating system. You can add your memory chips to them. They use the same games. It's just that the Nintendo Switch is a bit more robust in its flexibility. And like I said, because the Joy-Cons come off, it's easier to play party games with it. There are some games that don't work on the Nintendo Lite, like a Smash Brothers party and stuff like that, because you need multiple people to have the Joy-Cons, and the Nintendo Lite only has the ones that are built in. You can hook up 2 extra Joy-Cons to it, but it's just not quite right. It doesn't work right. So there are some, and Nintendo's good about telling you which ones don't work properly. Oh, Hungry, he said his mom made him pick his own Switch when he was a kid. Not that kind of Switch. We didn't have to pick Switches because we didn't have to worry about that. We just got the belt. So let's see. I'm going to take another bite. The pork is so good in there. So, I can't remember which convention it was, but at one of the conventions, I made the muffalata version, and that was really good. I think between that one and this one, those are my 2 favorites out of all of the stuffed waffles we've made so far. And that means even beating out the cheesecake, which, by the way, I'm going to experiment. So watch this space tomorrow, and either we're going to have something really cool and delicious, or I'm going to tell you that TikTok is a lying nightmare. I love trying stuff that I see on TikTok, though, because we'll see. We'll see. Maybe I'll have found like something amazing. And Lisa says her dad had a leather belt and he still has it. Yeah. No, thank you. And we all had leather belts. So I'll tell you the regret that I had. Oh my goodness. One time. And let me just tell you, I'm still upset about it to this day because it was not my fault. It was not me. But we all got the blame. But the mistake I made was because it hurt that I grabbed that belt with my hand. And I think you all know what a mistake that was. Oh yeah, don't ever. Oh no. And I'm just so glad now that we're away from doing that kind of discipline because, yeah, I don't think it was good for me. I don't think it's good for anybody. Oh, and Bluegrass Girl says she gets to go live on TikTok now. Like 1,000 likes hit today. Huh. I never thought about it. But I have a lot of followers on TikTok. Well, not a lot, but for someone who's never put anything out on TikTok, a lot of people follow me. Like every day, there's like 2 notices. Hey, so-and-so's following you on TikTok. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Renee, you are correct. There was a law of the chanclas. And let me tell you, my grandma can get you. If it was an Olympic sport, she would win the gold medal. Oh, and speaking of that, oh my goodness, a friend of mine from back home sent me a ridiculous video. Oh, I might have to share that with some of you in private because I don't know, maybe some people would be offended, but I thought I about died laughing. It was a riff on We were talking about the chancla, but also it was a horror theme. It's hilarious. I'll have to send it to you. I don't even think I could relay it to you, but let me just tell you, it was hilarious. It was, yeah. But let me say, grandmas and their chanclas win every time. Every time. See, oh, an exchange student who has joined us says she didn't get a notification for night and forgot it was Sunday, but also has tomorrow off. You know what? The notifications from all of my live streams have not been working. No, nothing reminds me anymore. And now that you mention it, it is Sunday. I missed the watch on him this morning. What? Ah. And Renee says she'll never forget the time that she laughed when her mom spanked her with the ruler and it broke. See, I probably would have laughed too. And no. And I know I've told this story before, but it's worth repeating. Speaking of being spanked when you are young, back in the day when it was also okay for them to spank you at school, my best friend, oh no. Wait, I'm gonna beat the moderators getting rid of this person. Let's see. Report. Let's see. Pornography. Get out of here. And now we remove it. Oh, Air Fry Auntie beat me to the removing. Well, I did the report. Yes. Now I have another thing to add to the filter. Yeah. It was awesome though. We got it. And I don't know, man. I really like banning them. Oh, and Carrie said that he also reported them. Awesome. Good job. Oh yeah, so the story. So yeah, I usually what happens is when I see them on other channels, I copy the name down, I put it into my filter so they can't get here. Oh, hey, Hoofing It. Yeah, I already made coffee and dinner. Dinner is delicious. So, in fact, I'm probably going to eat the whole thing tonight. It's so good. Hey, Sky and Rickwin. Good to see you both. Yes. And Renee says reporting doesn't block them, that the moderator has to remove. Yeah, I usually report and then I remove. So it was like teamwork. Hide, remove, report is what Air Fry Auntie says. So, an exchange student 2 will have to do a replay. So anyways, yeah, the story I was going to tell you about. So, we were terrible and you had to get permissions to leave campus during the school day, usually like for lunch. And if you didn't have permission, then of course you weren't supposed to leave campus. But my friend Gina Toscano and I, we wanted to leave anyways. And we gathered up our other friend, Ida, and we just left. And when we came back, it was maybe a little bit longer than lunch. And of course they called, and no, my parents weren't home. Of course they weren't, because hello, our parents are never home. But it was a tiny town, so they know everybody. So they called my grandpa, and he was like, "Oh, yeah, you can spank them." And so Mr. Marufo, he had like those big paddles with the holes in it. And he was gonna paddle us, but then he stopped because my friend Gina Toscano stood up, and she was really tall, and she like grabbed her butt and she said, "Oh yeah, you like it, spanking little girls, don't you, Mr. Marufo?" And obviously, once you go that route, they cannot hit you. Think about it; it would be so terrible. So yeah, after that, we just got detention, and Gina got a 3-day suspension, and the rest of us just got detention. So, hey. And I just say that's the kind of thing that turned me into the person I am today. You're welcome. All right. So, hey, Sky. Good to see you tonight. But Renee finds my story amusing, which is good. You'll hear it again eventually because I love that memory. It was hilarious. Oh my God, it was too much. But yeah. All right. So it's a little early. Oh, Exchange Student 2 is making more ranch stuffed mushrooms for the freezer. Yeah. Oh, that's what I ate this morning. I took the that sausage mushroom filling that I used for my stuffed mushrooms back out to, and I stuffed my little teeny peppers, and I heated those up. Oh man, it was still so delicious. Oh, Bluegrass Girl said she was reported to CPS for spanking a 7-year-old open palm on blue jean covered butt. Wow, that's a little extreme. Yeah. And Hungry He says, thanks to the public school for turning me into a deviant. Exactly, right? So, but no, it's much better now that we know that that's not a good thing to do to people. Oh, and Sky's packing to jump on a plane to sunny Florida. Oh, color me envious. It is gray and dreary here. We have hit that part of the winter. So, all right. Anyways, it's 7:15. So, even though it's a little early, I'm going to go eat my dinner and finish this awesome coffee. 100%, I think that if they do mail order, you should look for this Verena Street coffee and get some. It's good. It did take second. Well, it's probably my third favorite. I still really love that Nguyen coffee the most. That's some good coffee. 3 swats. Okay, autocorrect. So, anyways, that's it. Oh, the school counselor reported you. What's up with that? The counselor. Anyways, yeah, that's crazy. All right, so I'm going to take off and eat my dinner, but I'm really glad I got to be here tonight and say a Happy New Year to you guys and share this coffee with you and share my Happy New Year stuffed waffle. Enjoy. I 100% recommend. Delicious. Yep, so all right, good night, everyone. You have a great evening. I will talk to you tomorrow on some of the other live streams.